I had the pleasure of getting to sit down with two colleagues today to discuss their thoughts on Lao Tzu's famous quote, "A leader is best when people barely know he exists." Of a good leader who talks less, when his work is done, his aim fulfilled, they will say, "We did this ourselves." This is interview time, and I'm your host, John Green. Before reading them the quote, I first asked them, what attributes do you suppose make up a good leader?
You know, always leading the team to victory, being a flat out winner, and LeBron James on the court and Tiger Woods off.
So you would say that Tiger Woods and LeBron James are both role models for yourself?
Oh yeah.
What do you think makes them good leaders? What do they do that...
Just their deadly instinct of just being better than everyone else and working harder than everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If you had to name some things that a leader would do that impact other people on the team, what would it be? So what would a leader do that could maybe help out his team to victory, as you were saying?
Always the first person in the gym and last one to leave.
Yeah.
And just works harder than everyone else. I don't know.
Okay.
So I definitely think that one of the top attributes that comes along with being a leader is definitely confidence, because when being confident in yourself, you're knowledgeable in like what you're trying to represent, and if you're confident in others, it makes them feel comfortable with like what they're best suited for, which is best for like helping out if you're to be in a team. And if you're rewarding the team as a group, it'll make them feel like they all participated towards success, and if something negative were to happen, then it's not only the fault of the leader.
Yeah, no, exactly. So if the leader is able to suit what each person's like job is, it'll overall make the
Lead
whole
to
team.
success,
Yeah,
yeah.
for the whole team. So that's perfect.
I then read the quote and asked, after hearing the quote, according to Lao, what are the attributes of a good leader?
Not being cocky and like working hard like behind the scenes when no one else is watching.
Okay, yeah, good. I would agree with that.
I definitely think that he thinks that like being a team together is like definitely the most important, because even though like he is the leader, he doesn't want it to seem like he's the only one getting the credit.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were to be selfish about it, it's like if you were to try and be a good person and do something good for someone, it should be more important that like you're genuinely helping people than if people think that you're a good person yourself.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't care all about like what people are thinking about you. So you wouldn't go around telling everyone that you did something good today.
Yeah.
Just for
for sure.
the reaction.
Yeah, no, like he wants success for the whole team. He doesn't want the success for himself. Just like how you wouldn't do good deeds and brag about it.
Yeah. To get the reaction from everyone else.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Lao says no achievement is attributed to an individual, but the entire team effort. To achieve this, a leader needs to take a low profile and let everyone within his or her team openly participate in the development and implementation of ideas that foster growth and enhance productivity. In such cases, failures and successes are equally spread within the organization. To what extent do you believe a leader should be invisible?
Okay, I don't know what that means.
Okay, so it's saying that a leader is to the point, let me see. So they are not to the point where they're leading the team so that every victory they have, it's just him. Everyone feels like they won. So if they're playing basketball and they're on
like
LeBron,
the Cavs are the worst team in the league now.
Okay.
Without LeBron. No, I'm not kidding.
But listen, so if LeBron James is the leader of his team, everyone, when they win a game, everyone should feel like they have won.
Yeah.
Not we won because of LeBron. But also, if they lose a game, they shouldn't be we lost because of LeBron. So a leader should be invisible to a degree, so that everyone feels like they won, or it's everyone's fault that they lost. So my question to you is, what degree do you think a leader should be invisible?
Like it should kind of be like a 60-40 split, I guess.
60-40, so a 60 like he's being the leader, just
himself.
Okay. All right, so yeah, that's good enough.
I definitely feel like it should be within the group of themselves, like it should be aware that he's the leader, because everyone needs like a path to follow, and if he has like the right idea on where their goal is, he should like share it with the group, and they should all like contrast like ideas on it, but like at the same time making them like feel as a group like helping each other instead of just like them listening to him. They would all like give ideas together.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. That makes a lot of sense. So not to the point where everyone feels like they're under his...
They have to be silent when
Yeah.
he's speaking and
Yeah.
stuff. Like they're able to
No, yeah.
contrast ideas.
No, exactly. Yeah, I totally agree with you.
How would you measure success for you as a leader?
Yeah, so winning is obviously a huge accomplishment, but even if you lose like whatever game you're in or your team loses, you're still learning a lot from that, and you know, work harder and like
So you can
for
learn
like
from
the
your
next
mistakes.
time. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, that's perfect.
I definitely feel like if I were to set a goal before I do any action and then I were to reach that goal, I would definitely feel success. But as a leader like of a team, I would want each person to have their own goal individually or as a group. So then by the end of it, everyone feels accomplished in their own way, and they wouldn't feel like I was just using them as like stepping stools towards my own success.
No, yeah, exactly.
Do you think the competition is healthy?
Yeah, it's the only way you're gonna get better if you push yourself like in competition with other people that are better than you. If you're just out there by yourself playing, then like you're not gonna push yourself as much as if you're with people that are better than you.
Good.
Well, you can definitely like take this question in two different ways, because like I always think that it's a good idea if you were to compete with yourself, like not in a way of like comparing how you were in the past, but in a way to like inspire you for how you were in the future. And if you were to compete with someone else, like in a way of how it makes you feel, but not in a way of you wanting to make the other person feel worse if you were to beat them.
So there's definitely like two types of like there's a type of competition that's not healthy because if you're like competing against someone else and you're constantly putting yourself down, that's obviously not good.
Because if you were to compete about someone else, if you're only worrying about them, you're going to get nowhere. But if you're worrying about yourself, and it makes you feel like if you were to come in first place on top of them, but if you were to only worry about yourself, it would definitely feel a lot better than if you were to care about how they did the entire time. Because if they won that way, then you would care about how they did and not that you tried your best.
Yeah, no, I totally think that you should set like reasonable goals for yourself as well and try and reach them that are just outside of your comfort zone, and that can almost be like a self-competition as well.
Are you more effective in a group or one-on-one?
Definitely like in a group, because you get to hear everyone else's like perspectives of things and not just your own, and like other people are gonna know like more. Like if you only know a couple things, then if like everyone knows a couple things, then like you have more things to like.
Definitely, like everyone has some unique quality that they can bring to the group. That's perfect.
I definitely think that I'm more effective in a group, just because even if one were to not like be talking, it's a lot like I feel like I'm more like inspired with a topic, or I'm able to be more creative if I'm bouncing my ideas off someone else, or if they're bouncing their ideas off me. It could lead to many more, leading to success in both of us even.
Yeah, and that way like everyone will have unique qualities they can bring to the group. And it'll just make a stronger understanding of.
And it can even relate back to the topic of the leader, how everyone else or how every person can have like a better way of portraying a different part in the group, and if you were to work all together, can lead to much more success.
Mm-hmm.
Give me an example of a situation where a leader could fail.
Yeah, so if they're like not leading their team to victory as much as they should be, and kind of like slacking off, not working as hard as they usually do.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. If they're not 100% determined.
I definitely feel like you need to, if you were to set a goal, which is really important, you need the goal to be realistic. Because like if you're not setting it in a time where you're most recognized or have connections or even like a long enough time frame, you're only going to be upset with failure and not accept like how far you really come because you were setting yourself too high of a goal.
Yeah, no, and there's those factors that can also play into it, like time and resources and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely winning or succeeding, whatever you're trying to do, will also help. prevail your team's confidence as well with it. So that will make you a better leader.
Because it can definitely, like, even if you, like, set too high of an expectation and then you are set up for failure the first time, it can definitely, like, affect people negatively on how they feel of you as a leader for future reference.
Exactly.
What are some of your strengths?
I'm reliable, ambitious, determined, hardworking, and dedicated.
Those are some good strengths to have, especially as a leader.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like I'm very empathetic, and I always tend to want to hear, like, people's opinions and, like, help them with their problems or what they need to do to succeed in the future.
Mm-hmm.
What is your greatest weakness?
I don't know.
It doesn't have to be straight golf. It can be anything.
Weakness in what, like school?
Life. It could, anything that you think. Maybe, I don't know, you stress too much about something, you procrastinate too much, anything. It could even be that you're too much of a perfectionist and you want everything to be a certain way. It doesn't have to be a bad, like a perfectionist, like you want it. Okay.
I definitely think that my greatest weakness would be opinions of others. Because there are still things to this day that, like, I would want to do with my future that, like, even, like, the thought of other people, like, saying something about it or thinking about it would affect what I would do to, like, get myself there in the future.
Tell me about a time that you did not agree with something a leader wanted to do, but you had to do it anyways.
Yeah, so, like, coaches would sometimes, like, draw plays that, like, we didn't really think was going to work, but we didn't really say anything to them. We kind of just did it, and then after told them, like, that it wasn't going to work. Stuff.
Yeah. Give them, like, feedback on what could have worked instead better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm currently working on a project right now where we have to make a video montage of the school. And right when he projected the idea of doing that to us, like, I was very excited and had, like, a lot of ideas and everything. But we were forced to sit down and have, like, a shot-to-shot plan of what the video was going to be and how long it was going to be and what angle and lighting we were going to do. And I definitely feel like that, like, put, like, a wall in front of my creativity, because I would much rather just go out and see, like, what shots I wanted myself or what I thought would look better instead of having to plan it all out written beforehand.
Mm-hmm. So you feel like there were some restrictions behind what you can do.
Yeah.
What is there anything you're gonna do to, I don't know, try and overcome this?
I wrote down random shots on my sheet just so I could leave class to get shots, and then found ones on my own that truly inspired me.
Good.
Word.
Can you tell me about the first time you ever failed and how you handled it?
Yeah, probably the first time I was in, like, a competitive golf event,
Mm-hmm.
and you just, like, shoot really bad, and then, like, you kind of just don't even want to play anymore for a while.
Mm-hmm. How did you overcome that? Because you're still going hard at it.
Go back in more events and just do better every time.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like one of, like, the hardest times for me would definitely be, like, my breakup. And at first, like, maybe, like, 2 weeks or so, like, I was very, like, upset about it. And one thing that I had to realize, and, like, now whenever I think of someone who's, like, maybe not even going through the same thing but something hard, is, like, you always need to stop focusing on what that person's doing and focus on, like, what you're doing yourself and how you're going to get somewhere with yourself.
Good. Oh yeah, it's always best to focus on what you need. So.
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself a leader?
No, because I'm kind of an individual. Like, I guess I'm a leader for myself, but, like, not for other people.
Okay, I like that. Expand. How do you see yourself as a leader?
Like, I don't know.
Do you
Because, like,
do you push yourself if there's things that you want to work on yourself, and that's how you see it, or?
yeah. Because,
Okay.
like, golf is a single-person sport. You're not really, like, leading a team unless you're on a team in, like, college.
Yeah. Well, do you think that maybe other kids at your school look up to you and be like, oh, I want to golf as well as Scott?
Maybe.
Yeah, so you could be a leader. So in that way, you want to set a good role model in school too. If they see you're doing well in at golf, but you're just messing around all day at school, you're not really setting a good example for them. If you're the role model, right?
For me, it definitely depends on the situation that I'm in, and it definitely depends on if I'm confident in it. Like, if I were to be in an English class, I'll definitely help try and lead people's ideas or put an input on my ideas. But if it were to be a class that I'm not as confident in, or even like my comfort with the teacher, then I'll definitely just stay quiet and not say anything. So it definitely depends on how I feel with the subject that I'm speaking about.
Yeah, no, definitely. If you are in your comfort zone, it's a lot easier to lead and encourage others than if.
Or even if even if it's not just staying in my comfort zone, but if it's something that the root of what the idea is in like that I'm comfortable with, I'm willing to go outside of my comfort zone to express my feelings about it. But it all depends on that like main root of idea.
No, that's good.
How would you get others to accept your ideas as a leader?
You gotta show them that it works.
Yeah.
Like
Proof?
before you do it, like proof that it actually works.
Okay.
I definitely feel like if you really express the fact of like proving that you've been successful in the past and like you're able to lead to success, then they'll be more on board. And if you try and relate the topic to how it will affect them personally, they'll definitely want it to lead them to success as well, and they'll feel more as a group and less just doing it for you.
Yeah, no, success rate can definitely help encourage people to come along on board. Awesome. Well, thank you. This concludes our interview.
Thank you for joining us today. See you next week on Interview Time.